guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project 365, episode 926 or 27. I lose count every now and then. Guys, if you follow along on YouTube, make sure you jump on over to WODdoc.com. Check out all the full-length videos. That's where we have them housed. It's my pleasure to introduce to you guys Chandler Smith.
What's up?
He's one of those up-and-coming guys, he's a superstar. You're an up-and-coming superstar. He doesn't even know it though, right? I think you know. You have to believe in yourself, right?
I believe myself a little bit. Last time I was on the show, I was in a certain place, and now I'm a little bit better.
Backstory: the first time that I ever met Chandler, he came in and just smashed the competition that I was DJing and stuff like that, and kind of just left everybody in the dust and stuff like that. We ended up meeting up and finding out that he was a wrestler, which is what we're going to talk about today, or previous wrestler, right?
Yes,
and the translations of that, both mentally and physically, I think are huge in the sport of in functional fitness. So let's talk about real quick, how did you start CrossFit?
So it's actually super cool because Spencer Hindle's here this weekend competing, right? And I was back on Facebook and I was checking. I somehow ran into a video of Spencer Hindle online, and so I sent him a message. I was like, "Yo, hey, I'm really interested in CrossFit. Like, I just want to get started. Can you give me some tips and everything?" And he was cool enough to send me a message back, which is awesome. It was June 24th, 2010. I did Cindy in my basement, and then it was because I wanted to go to West Point and I wanted to get my lungs better. I think I'd seen Special Forces guys were doing it in my head. Right. That's what I wanted to do. So I was in my basement training. He encouraged me, and I moved on from there. But I kept doing it through wrestling of my senior season, and I had a much better senior season than I had the year before. Took second in state, and then my lungs got good, and I made it into West Point. And then while I was there, I spent those 4 years. Didn't really get to do as much CrossFit as I wanted to, but
because you were pounding the mats, right?
Yeah, exactly. There was like everything. I mean, I started wrestling when I was freshman in high school, so I needed to be doing technique, needed to be drilling more, and needed to be working out. So that was like the main focus. But I was studying a lot of it, like reading a lot from all the coaches and the minds in the sport, and like trying to figure out what my plan of attack was going to be whenever I was done. So
right. So when you started CrossFit, did you have that goal of like, listen, I'm going to be a games athlete, and that's what I'm going to
do? Pretty early on. Yeah, I mean, like that was the goal. I didn't for sure know it until we have what's called Camp Buckner, and it's like a training period out after your freshman year at West Point. And so we were out there, and I was like getting updates on the games, and I was like, you know what, like shoot, I want to do this. And that was summer 2012. I was like, if I had 10 years, finish up my time in the Army, take some time to train, and like just keep getting better over the next 10 years, I can make it than 10 years. So that's
what I think is amazing about that is that he has a great plan, right? It wasn't just like, okay, I'm going to forget about everything else, which is, we joke about this. Some of the CrossFitters hate it when I say this, but like some of us, we lose track of our foresight. Like you have a great, educational background, you have a career throughout the military and whatnot, if you should choose to take that path.
Yeah.
But yet you're taking care of your athletic goals at the same time, which I think is something that many people should inspire to do and respect you for, rather than just haphazardly just being like, okay, I'm really good at fitness, this is the only thing that I'm going to do, right?
I think having my dad be a pro athlete, my dad played in the NFL for 8 years, and also he coached for like 16, so like having seen, the athletes, they go in and they're done, and not all of them have like as good of a backup plan. That and my mom being a teacher, like both helped me realize, fitness is, exactly, it's like a means to an end, so it can't be the end in itself. It's a pretty hollow goal if that's the case.
Right, but it gives you a catalyst to the rest of life, and I think that's super important because you're having the greatest time. I mean, out here, Blues, Miami, awesome. How much more fun could we have, right? So, do you think that that wrestling has translated over very well, to, like the mental side of it and the physical side? Like, how would you say that being a wrestler previously helped you in CrossFit?
I'd say mentally, it's been awesome because every day, like going into CrossFit, you're gonna have to do something you don't want to do, but at least that's some people have fun every day training. That's not me. Like I go in a lot of days and I'm not super pumped to do this, especially.
So it's okay not to be super pumped to do CrossFit because you have these specific goals. Like you understand that it's the work that needs to be put in.
Absolutely.
Right.
So it's just like that's the attitude I take. And I know for wrestling, like especially when you're cutting weight and everything, like when you're sucking, it's like the last thing I want to do is to go into the room right now and get beat up by guys who suck because I have no energy right now.
Right.
But you gotta keep your mind focused on the bigger picture and get over yourself and go in there and do it. So
what about on competition day? How does it help you on competition?
Competition, I think there's a lot of people who say this, but I feel like I compete so much better than I train because I think I have an understanding of peaking. I'm always tired during the week, but that kind of is the same thing in wrestling. You're cutting weight, you don't feel good going into the competition. My times for a training, whatever, workout will never be probably as good as everybody else's when it comes time. When I get that rest in, with the right team, with the right folks that refuel my body properly, I think I can hang with people maybe that I couldn't in training, just because I know how to peak.
Well, that's an awesome backstory. I guess the first thing I want to say is good luck in the future for everything that you do this year and keep on going. Is there any like words of wisdom that you'd like to leave the viewers with today? I hate to put them on the spot, but I always like to ask, like, what's like a good thought plan or a good quote, something that you like to live by, a motto, anything like that.
I guess it'd be like the anecdote that like you can't rely on motivation, because motivation is fickle. So it's good to be pumped about what you're doing and everything, but there's going to be times when that fades. Like you need to have a plan, and then when you have that plan and you develop discipline to execute whatever step of that plan that you need to for that day, week, month, year, and you see everything as part of like a bigger process, that's where the gains are made. So I want people to be able to understand that it's not, again, I keep talking about it's not fun. I love doing CrossFit. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think it was fun, but like there's a lot of times, especially as you get better and you have to work on those things that you're not as like you don't like and you're not good at because you don't like them, and that kind of that feedback loop. There's going to be those times where like you're not really pumped about it, but when you're focusing on the bigger goal and you've built up your discipline to where you're not worrying about how you feel in a particular day, you're just going to do it because you need to do it, then everything else falls into place.
Well, listen, my man, that's not only a great motto. That's not only a great motto for an athletic goal. It's a great motto for life, and I think discipline is something that gets in there that we all need to strive to have and stuff like that. Listen, I can't thank you for enough coming out and introducing yourself to everybody for the second time, but now that you're especially like.
Wish I remember the day for the last one. Once it was like 5.
We'll look it up. Maybe I'll put it in the next post or something.
Okay.
All right. Guys, as always, if you have any questions or comments, please post them below, and of course, we are always optimizing function to optimize performance.